Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to My Hero Academia. It is Season 3, Episode 10. So, well, you know what to do. As always, you want to see the reaction itself, go down into my descriptions, follow the link, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and, well, hear me mumble about what happened in this episode and what I think about it. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. That was a great one, right? I mean, we all knew it would go down in the moment when All For One appeared in the last episode. And I was kind of surprised about that. And he proved to be incredibly powerful, there's no question. I mean, holy heck. How do you beat someone like that? So I think the main difference here is that One For All has like an ultimate power, but he is very focused on one kind of power. He's you know, punching, jumping, he's very bodily, he's very melee based. And he is incredibly strong and tough. So I think so he's like the ultimate fighter. But All For One is more like a catalog of abilities. The longer he is able to exist, the more powerful he will get. Kind of like it does with All Might. I mean, we learned that One For All gets stronger every time it gets passed on. I mean, that's possibly the only reason why he can even face up against him. Because apart from that, I think it's very clear that All For One is the stronger one. He has way more options what to do. He can manipulate better, you know. He's incredibly good with this huge amount of quirks that he possesses now. That's a tough one. I really don't know how to beat him. The thing is, in my opinion, All Might right now, getting weaker and weaker, will not be able to beat him. I think it is a matter of time until he has to pass the torch completely. And Deku is not ready yet. He is already really good, as we all know, but he's not ready to face against this enemy. But I mean, that's in the end the main problem of this fight right now. So I did not make notes this time, as you know. So I will just go through the episode by clicking on moments, so I hope I can kind of sum up most of it. In the end, we ended off last time with every villain and Kacchan being ported away with this strange quirk, which we haven't known before, which, as we know now, there we are, is from All For One. So he has some kind of a teleporting ability, but it only works to him and from him. So he can bring people to himself, and only from a very kind of short distance, which is still a good one. And he can port people to other persons that he knows very well. So that is a nice one. That is a very beneficial one, as we've seen here. I mean, it stopped our heroes dead in their tracks when they tried to take over the League of Villains, when they tried to, well, kind of destroy them. Because they weren't aware of that, that's how he did send in the Nomus, because he sent him to Tamura, who he knows very well. And later on he helped Tamura and the others escape by doing so. So he pushed them away from him through a portal. No, in this case he used the portal from Warp Gate. So it's already a very useful quirk. Maybe not as specific, not as high level as the one from Warp Gate, but already incredibly useful. So let's see. Yeah, the others are fighting outside. Oh yeah, Endeavor. I do not remember if we have really seen Endeavor fight before. We have seen him against Stain, where he kind of, you know, was there, but we have never really seen his ability. And this Hellflame, which he does, I mean, he's possibly not a hero who can take prisoners. I mean, how could he? Except punching them, I guess. But he burned the Nomus to crisp, more neither instantly. So this fire seems to be incredibly hot, incredibly powerful, because as we've seen, the guns from the police officers didn't help at all. The Nomus didn't care about them. And we have seen that the Nomus are, even in melee, quite capable. So it's not so easy to bring them down. But he insta-burned them. Like with one flame, he took out one or multiple Nomus at the same time. So that's a tough one. I can see why he's number 2. However, I would really question how his chances would be against a villain like All For One. Because from this, it is pretty one-sided. I guess he has more options how to use this flaming ability. I'm pretty sure he has more capabilities than just producing fire. But yeah, so he was good to be there. It was a good choice to have him outside as a backup. He did that. He backed them up as good as he could. It was good to see that the heroes which were at the Nomu factory were still alive. So you can even see that they kind of tried to protect each other and everything. Best Jeanist even pulled them out of the way, and he got credit for it from All For One, which doesn't help a lot because he was killed. I really have to give it to him. He stood up till the last moment. He really tried to go against him, and it's kind of horrific if you see that he was killed like with a whip of a finger. It is not that there was like a big fight anymore. Okay, so he was surprised as the others were, so he was possibly like already more neither taken out. But All For One just flinched a finger and shot through his body. I'm not completely sure which ability he used there, and it doesn't matter at all. It just shows the difference in power level. How strong All For One is. And Best Jeanist was number 4. And he was a number 4 because he was determined, and he was very capable of using his quirks in different ways, so he was very adaptive. But in this case, on a pure fight for your life, he was just completely overwhelmed. I'm kind of sorry that he's gone, because he was a nice one. He was a really cool hero, a very good idea, because it was a very unusual quirk, I think. And he was a hero. That's it. He tried to help people. So yeah, his ability was not taken. There was one I got because his ability wouldn't go with Tomura. So All For One is searching specifically for abilities he can give to Tomura. We know that he wants him to be his predecessor, the next one, where his power goes to, kind of. So it seems he's searching specifically for him right now, and this ability, I'm not sure why it shouldn't work for Tomura. I'm not completely sure about that one, if there's a reason. Yeah, we had this exactly. Then we had our students who stood on the side. We had this in the last episode already. This effect that All For One has is very similar to the one from Stain. This fear aura. This aura of despair and of problems, of thinking you will die. So they were unable to move for a very long time there. Good thing is, it seems as though All For One is not aware of them being there. Although I wouldn't count on that, because he has the ability to telepathically now know enemies and their abilities. I'm not sure if he has to see them. Maybe that's it. Maybe. So he brought in the others from his league, including Kacchan, because Tomura think that Kacchan is important. So that's kind of interesting to me, that he's giving so much care about Tomura's thoughts and what he wants. I really question how much of this relationship between the two of them is like a puppeteer and puppet relationship, so that he's the master who just uses Tomura, or if there's really like more, because it feels very often very genuine from his side, like he really cares about Tomura and really wants him to succeed. I'm not completely sure here. I'm really not sure. We will see. I guess we will learn more about this. Without a question, he took Tomura under his wings. So, and he pushes him a lot, positively, if you could say so. I'm not sure about what this mask is for that he's wearing. I mean, we know that his face, his body was very, very much shattered and nearly destroyed in the last fight with All Might. So I can only guess that he needs a mask to stay alive somehow. And well, but it gives him this very creepy look. He looks strange. It's a bit like the mask from Bane in Batman, but bigger, you know. So we got everyone here. Oh yeah, in this picture, I realized that his hands look freakishly large. It might be a matter of perspective here, because the other hand, the one that's not raised, is a little bit smaller here. But his body seems a bit weird in general. So he has a tuxedo on, that's right. But there's not really like, you cannot really see like his body is looking normal. Not saying that he's abnormally built, but something is weird. And the mask, the fact that you cannot see his head correctly and the how big is each body part, makes it even more like this. The huge hands, maybe it might be a mistake by the creators, by the writers, but I think it is kind of fitting, because he needs huge hands to stop All Might's blows, because this one, All Might has huge hands, huge fists as well. And it is very fitting because in scenes with Tomura, hands are always an important thing. I mean, Tomura has this glove on his head. We had the scenes with him and All For One, where he gave his hand to him, like helping him up, like giving you a hand to follow. So in the memories of Tomura, these hands have to be big, because he was a young child and All For One was already grown up. So it's kind of fitting that even now his hands are just bigger than others. So just thinking, maybe it is just for that. Yeah, then we had All Might appearing. Okay, so he just flew in and punched All For One. And All For One blocked him like that. So that doesn't automatically mean that he has the same power. We have seen him then blow All Might away with a very strange mix of quirks. So I guess he knew that All Might was coming. He even counted him down and said, "Man, you took longer than I thought. 30 seconds for 5 kilometers. What's going on? You're slowing down." So I think he kind of prepared himself, that he had like a quirk ready that absorbs the blow. Because I still would say that All Might is the more capable and stronger melee fighter in general. Just the strength that he has. While All For One is able to counter him by using multiple quirks in combination. As we have seen. So there was this blowing him away, punch blowing him. So his tuxedo on the arm kind of blew up and propelled All Might away. So there was a mix, as far as I understood, of like a wind blow, 4 times improved strength, some kinds of muscle fiber improvement stuff. So I think we're like 3 or 4 quirks combined, which he used, which already shows what All For One is about. the fact that he's using multiple quirks, taking them from others, stealing them, and combining them makes him way more powerful than possibly every other one. I very often in the past always requested that the heroes, or in this case the students, work together to combine their quirks, to find new abilities, new options, what they can do when they combine one quirk with another. So like, I don't know, throwing each other, as Tsu does with her tongue, as example, throws, or as we've seen in this episode, the propelling, using two quirks to propel someone, a third one in front to be like a battering ram because he can harden his body. So these combinations are always very cool to me. They give way more options in. And here we have a villain who is able to do this alone. That makes him incredibly powerful, as we've seen. So this fight went quite a while. And we have seen exactly, that's it, this one here. He has, and I guess this is possibly like his original ability, this ability to drain, on the one hand, quirks from others, and to forcefully activate quirks in others by pushing these metal fiber tentacles, whatever, into the body of someone else. In this case, it was Warpgate who was unconscious, but he pushed inside, and by doing so, he's able to connect to the quirk and activate it forcefully. So you do not even have to be conscious that he can do it. So if you think about him standing in the middle of dozens of fallen heroes or villains, he could like put his tentacles in every one of them, his metal fibers, and use their quirks, even without taking them in for himself. This is a strong thing. This is a dangerous one. And in this case here, he created it to, he used it to create a portal where Tamura and the others escaped in the end. I guess with this ability, he absorbs it as well, as I already said. So, strong one. He did this to the other guy in the picture here as well, and this one wasn't unconscious. So he is not really like, I wouldn't say he's not a team player, but he's the boss and he doesn't care what the others think and feel. He penetrated his body, and as you can see in case of Warpgate here, it's not like it is a knife thing. He's bleeding. So you can be very sure that he was bleeding as well in the end. He was just like not saying, use your ability, do this and that now. No, he was just doing it himself. So in way more than normal ways, a puppet master. He can really be a puppet master by using the quirks of the others. Forcible quirk activation, there it is. I was during the fight very much afraid that All Might would go down, because we could see him coughing multiple times, even before he arrived there. But he stood strong. And Deku was thinking about, yeah, well, how do we save Kacchan now? There was a moment where I thought he would just run in. I mean, that would have been disastrous. Not just all those villains who were there, who would possibly have stopped them. But in this case, I think that All For One is so dangerous, he will possibly just have wiped him out. So, I didn't think they would find a way to do it without fighting, because they are forbidden to fight. And I thought they would go for like that they do jump in with their abilities to save Kacchan, kind of get out of it, but later on get problems for, once again, using their quirks in a real fight, and thus endangering everyone, including themselves. But they found quite a good solution, and I agree it was a very good thing, a clever thing, that it wasn't Deku who was in front and asked Kacchan to raise his hand to come in to join them. I'm not sure if Kacchan wouldn't have done it. I mean, he's not stupid. He possibly would have jumped in. But yes, he is a hothead, and it might have been that he would have like argued for a second or two. So like something like, I told you not to come, and then jump. And those split seconds can already be the problem. So instead of bringing his friend to the front as the one inviting him in, was a good move. It showed once again that Kacchan is not one-sided. He has friends. He just will not admit it. That's the thing. But he became friends with him, and I like that. Those two are cool, nice friend couple. I really like it. And it was I already discussed it, a very, very good mix of abilities they used here. And once again, as we have seen, where is it? Somewhere here. I'm searching, sorry. Okay, whatever. Even the villains, there was a moment when they said our long-range fighters are out. That's a nice thing. It wasn't the first time. We had this when it came to which students will go on this undercover mission on trying to rescue Kacchan, and I discussed the fact that they have no one with like scouting abilities, because those with the scouting ability were either out or not willing to join. And I really like the fact that they are going more and more for this. If you look closely now in the episodes, I think it's not easy to spot. It is really hard to catch. But if you look closely, you could have realized that, I could have realized that the long-range heroes are villains are out. So you might estimate something like this is going on. I mean, it's a far shot, no question there. But I like the fact that they go for it, and that they point it out. That when the students fly by, that the villains say all our long-range supporters are out, thus we cannot reach them. That's really good. I really like that. You see that there's more thought in these episodes than meets the eye on first view. We got a new quirk, which I didn't know was in there, and I like it. It's a very uncommon thing, a strange thing, creating magnetism North and South Pole depending on if you are male or female. I mean, what the heck is that? That's a clever idea. He used it to propel the villains toward the students. Nicely done. I mean, I'm against it, but I liked it. And in the end, oh yeah, this one. In the end, we had All For One using this ability forcefully to pull all the villains towards the girl, which I wrote down and already forget again. So I guess she's out for a while as well, because she was colliding with all of them. So again, you see that All For One is very aware of his surroundings and abilities that are used. So good one. Mount Lady stood up and rescued the students, so she helped them escape by putting herself into harm's way, and it was a direct hit to the nose, I think, to the face. I hope she's not having like permanent damage there. It didn't look good. I mean, just by size it shouldn't be, but we don't know. Stuff happens. So I just hope she's okay. And we had Gran Torino arriving, which is true. Who easily, and I mean easily, took out Tomura and the others. I mean, he might be old, but holy heck, he's fast. He completely whooped their butt alone. I'm pretty sure All For One knows him, because he was friends with the former One For All user. So I guess he knew who he is and he knows his abilities, and he even used him to Where is it? Yeah, there. He even used him as a shield. I mean, that wasn't necessary. He could have possibly blocked the blow from All Might by himself, but he wanted to show him something. And he was evil and cruel in this moment, so he used his short-range teleportation ability to pull in Gran Torino and blocked the blow with Gran Torino. That's a mean one. In this case, he made friends beat up each other without them having a chance. So that's a mean thing, and he did it, as he explained later, because All Might well, kind of killed or at least took out many of his comrades. So he wanted him to realize what that feels like. That didn't go on that more specifically. I just hope that Gran Torino's okay, but that was a hell of a blow, so that might have broken some ribs. In the end, we finished off with these with a speech from All Might, a very deep felt and real speech about what is good, you know, and one last punch which shattered the mask of All For One, and he just took it. I mean, he was even talking then. I'm not sure if All For One, I think he will escape. Tomorrow was afraid that he wouldn't, because the body that he's using right now is weak. Seriously? That is a weak body? But seeing that All Might is at his maximum and right now was about to fall back into the old man form. Although he has beaten All For One in this moment, I think, and if he would have been on full power, this would have been it. I guess he will not be able to stop him when he ports away or anything like that. Gran Torino's out as well. All the other heroes in the area are out. So I guess All For One will escape, although he was punched down. And he has seen All Might getting weaker. And that's a dangerous thing, because he's aware of this now. Thus he knows how the quirk works. He has the ability of viewing, you know, you remember from Ragdoll, I think it was. And he knew that already before, because they are fighting each other since eternity. I guess he is aware that All Might is passing on his quirk. And that will be a problem. That will be dangerous, because it means that he knows someone out there is right now possibly training on getting this quirk, on getting One For All, and on becoming the new All Might, his new nemesis. So, if he is clever and... seriously, All For One is clever, he will try to find who it is, and it is not so hard to spot that it is Deku. So, it might very well be that we will in the future have like a hunt for Deku. Because if he could take him out before he's strong enough, then he wins. Right now we have the quirk of One For All in kind of the weakest phase. We have the old one getting weaker and weaker. We have the new one not yet at full fighting strength, not even close. So right now would be the best time for the villains to strike. And I think All For One will have realized that after this moment. Yeah, last but not least, we had the mentioning of a name. So the last one that had the abilities, the quirk of One For All, is called Nana. I think it was Nana? Shimura? I'm sorry if I'm wrong with the name, but you know what I mean. It is the same last name as from Tomura. It is, so that explains a bit. It explains why All Might knew him instantly and was kind of freaking out about it. It possibly explains why Tomura shouted "I hate you" at All Might. I can only guess. I mean, we know that the last one died. And I think I remember that he died by the hands of All For One. So it's a bit strange that whoever in relation to Mura is now, he's following the killer of the last one of this. I guess I'm, as I said, I'm not completely sure who it is. Nana might be male, might be female, might be mother, father, brother, sister, older. Which means Tomura is possibly a way younger brother or a kid. I would think like possibly the kid of someone. Why would you follow? That's one thing. But then we don't know what happened exactly at this time. So we just know that the next one who then took over the power was All Might. So from the view of Tomura, Nana died and All Might got the power that Nana had before. So he came out good and smiling and being the symbol of peace, you know. And Tomura lost something possibly very valid. Might be the father. We had these moments of father, you know. So that would explain this hate that is there and why he's willing to join the villains. All For One additionally said that no one took you, no one helped you with your powers, something like that. So possibly Tomura was kind of left alone as well, which is a bad thing. I can only guess something went down at this time during this fight in the past. And it possibly whatever happened was very shattering for Tomura. Maybe it might be that All For One took Tomura in before the last fight, before the final fight, because we have seen him standing in front of him and talking to him. And as far as we know, after the last fight, he was more neither dead. So I guess it was a bit before, and maybe the last One For All jumped in to kind of rescue his relative, his or her son or brother. Just guessing. So there's more in here than meets the eyes on first view. And we will learn more about that. And as it seems, Nana had the same speech as All Might does now. So, which might give multiple clues. It might be that they are kind of very equal in their view on what is good and what is bad. But it might very well be that this speech is in All Might because he has Nana in him. We know that from the past there was this moment where Deku had like shadowy figures of all those that used the quirk before standing on the side looking at him and trying to push him on. So I guess somehow at least a bit of the souls, of the spirits of those people are in everyone who has the quirk now. So maybe that's why he has the more neither same speech. Just maybe. However, it was a great episode. As I said, what do I expect next one? I am pretty sure that All For One will escape. He already said it's time for a teleportation before he got smacked. Too late. So I'm pretty sure he will teleport away, or whatever he does for that. I think All Might will crumble because he was about to lose it right now. As soon as the enemy goes. I think Gran Torino will possibly go to a hospital. Same will go for Mount Lady and multiple of the other heroes. That was not good. They rescued Chan, however. So it's a bit the question now how they are able to point it out towards the media. I mean, they rescued the kid. That was a #1 goal. They did this. They forced the League of Villain to draw back, to fall back, which is a win, kind of. But they lost Best Jeanist. I would be surprised if he would be still alive, but it would be cool if. It might be that they lost other heroes as well, not sure about that. And they destroyed parts of the city, there's no question about that. So it is a mixed one, what they are able to show. Well, they now know that the main villain is back. And he knows more stuff about them now, which is a problem. Yeah, I think that's it for this time. I enjoyed it, I hope you did as well. And I will see you the next time. Until then, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.